Don't tell your secrets to anyone. Don't reconcile with a friend you broke up with. Among the Roman proverbs, there is a saying that, innate humanity will return immediately no matter how much it is cast out. It's not that the 3-year-old habit lasts until 80, it's that you take your personality from birth to the grave. Man never forgets his own nature. Since human behavior is governed by this innate instinct, we repeat the same behavior in the same situation. Therefore, it is wrong to reconcile with a friend who has broken up once for any reason. Because that friend will repeat the same instinct later in the same situation. At that time, it is useless to say that I did not know that would happen, or to accuse me of being a traitor. It is also wrong to bring in a servant whom you have once dismissed for a mistake. When a person's interests change, his attitude changes. Therefore, once you know the character of a person, you need to know that he is and treat him like that. And he should keep in mind that if he accepts him, he accepts with the reason why he broke up with him. Just as a mineralogist uses mineral sample data to label material properties, we need to classify the character traits of our neighbors as if they were minerals. The reason is that people's personalities don't change. It is almost impossible to correct the mistakes of others. Do not refute other people's ideas or opinions. He wants to free others from irrational thoughts and delusions, but like the characters in the Old Testament, he will not be able to achieve that goal even if he lives to be 969 years old. Also, when talking with others, no matter how sympathetically you say it, you should not blame the other person for their mistakes. It's easy to buy other people's feelings, but it's very difficult to correct the wrong. If someone says something that doesn't make sense at all, he doesn't have to intervene. You just have to know that he is putting on a clumsy play. In this world, if a person who wants to spread the truth or a lesson has accomplished that task, it belongs to luck. But most people in the process are misunderstood and mistreated, or suffer from resistance and abuse. Therefore, if you want to convince yourself of your opinion, do not raise the heat, but be sincere and cool-headed until the end. If you confess a secret, you become a slave to it. Personal secrets should be kept deeply hidden. No matter how close you are, it's good to show only your objective self. This is because, from a subjective point of view, friends are also strangers. If we tell secrets just because we are close friends, there is a risk of unintentional damage later. It is for this reason that reticence has been regarded as the basis of the art of life since ancient times. Don't tell your friends what you shouldn't tell your enemies. If you keep a secret, you become the master of the secret, but if you confess a secret, you become the slave of the secret. The fruit of peace grows on the tree of silence. Regret is torturing oneself. Once a man starts working and does his best and then fails, he must forget the next time. In human affairs, coincidences and mistakes always accompany us. When one's work is frustrated, one regrets that he did not know it would turn out like this, or that it would not have been this far had he not done so. However, such regret is equivalent to torturing himself. We must appeal to our reason and admit that life has an unavoidable destiny. Envy bears the thorns of immorality and unhappiness. So, since ancient times, jealousy has been regarded as an enemy and a sin that blocks our happiness. We should, as far as possible, root out the nature of jealousy like weeds from our personalities. Saying that a person who is envious of those who live better and have more than him and who is hungry can never be happy. Think about how many people are less fortunate than you. The quickest way for a person to comfort himself is to see someone less fortunate than himself. What makes us happy is doing the very small and trivial things well. You can talk about things like reading a book, listening to music, meditating, sweeping the yard and looking at flowers. I mean the mundane things of everyday life. We feel happy when we look at a narrow place rather than looking at a wide place, and the more narrow the scope of action is, the more happy we can be. When you look at the world broadly, your desire grows. The wider the field of view and the radius of action, the more desire arises, and when a desire arises, the worry and anxiety to achieve it increase. The more people you meet, the more friends you have. The more people you like, the greater the range of contact with your wishes and desires, and the greater the opportunity and environment for causing misfortune. In order to be happy, the will and the heart must be less agitated. Suffering comes from an active mind, and happiness comes from a passive mind. Peace of mind, stillness and serenity are far better than ambition and unhappiness that comes from being noisy and busy. This premise is possible because we already know the despair and futility that comes after achievement. When we see writers, painters and musicians describe happiness while creating works of art, we can see where human happiness comes from, even when we see the beauty of natural scenery and tranquility. When they describe happiness, they always praise secluded natural scenery, loneliness and tranquility. Artists know very well that monotony and simplicity are the basic conditions for happiness. In the end, human happiness and unhappiness depend on one's mind. But a person who can endure simplicity and monotony must have the mental skills to handle an intellectual life. Only then can you escape from the shadow of boredom. Those who have shed tears of sadness can also shed tears of joy. Humans feel pain, but do not feel the absence of pain. I also have worries, but I don't feel that I don't have worries. You can feel fear, but not safety. You can feel thirst, desire, or hope, but once you hold them in your hands, you quickly lose interest. Happiness and unhappiness are what you get according to your mind. Schopenhauer, German philosopher.